Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and to hang out with you. It's a Lego 3-in-1. So if we end up building the whole thing of this, both the flatbed truck and the helicopter, then we'll start disassembling to get ready for the third build. I'm going to throw the Baer Cave Lego the site emote in the chat. If, like Jam, you are a subscriber, hi Jam, you can throw your emotes in there like Lashbrook did. Aristofan just subscribed at Tier 2. That's 25 months, currently on a 25-month streak. I'm going to hit the old applause there. Thank you, Aristofan. Aristofan got the old upgrade pretty recently, so we got to thank Aristofan for that. And then Aristofan just goes ahead and is like, well, why not also have a 25-month streak there, because it's time to renew. So thank you so much. Oh, Bobby's here. Hi, Bobby Dice Roller. Happy to have you here, Bobby. Lastbrook. We got a great crew already. This is going to be a really fun build. Now, if you missed the Lego stuff that I did on Monday and Thursday, this is a 3-in-1, the shuttle transporter. We built the space shuttle. We built a six-wheeler with a trailer. Now we're going to work on a white flatbed truck that has a helicopter that can land on it, which is pretty neat. And then the third kit in this whole build is a kind of just like a pickup truck with a camper van at the back. That's fun. Or a camper attachment. It's not a camper van. It's a camper at the back. So that's a fun little bit of business. I did a little bit of Lego building just to get my fingers warmed up. I usually snap a couple pieces out when it's time to work on model kits, get my fingers going there. This time, just took out, just trying to work the fingers, get some movement going, get ready to build something. This is a pre-show segment, the intro portion of the stream where we wait for folks to decide if they're going to come in. Maybe they got that notification when I went live. Maybe they know by now that I actually don't start the stream properly. I start connecting, and then I don't start for a couple minutes because I wait for folks to come in. So they know now, well, when Pat says 9 p.m., he really doesn't start building till like 9:10. Or maybe we're just waiting for the viewer number to confirm, because that the dashboard is telling me that 2 people are watching, but 4 people have put their emotes in the chat. So that doesn't add up. Twitter. This is not Twitter, it's Twitch. I said, sometimes, can you even tell the difference? Really? Oh, no, okay, it updated now. There's more people watching. That's cool. I'm going to retweet. Epic Open World is here. Hi, Epic Open World. Happy to have you here. I will say this. I'm a little punchy right now. Just a little punchy. I don't quite know what's going on, but yeah, I'm a little, I'm a little like, I don't know. I think I've got like fake energy becoming real energy kind of thing. But I retweeted my tweet. I'm going to go to the whole, Pat's going to punch someone. No, not that kind of punchy. Not punch in. I'm not feeling puncher. I'm not feeling like a puncher. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like I got a little bit of energy here. I got my second wind today. I went for a really long walk because it is getting humid again. Hey, Julie, happy to have you here. Thank you for being here on the old stream. Thanks for throwing that emote in. But yeah, so I had like this whole, I don't know, I had this moment where I was like, I'm going to go for a walk, because it was like unseasonably cool, but now it's getting warmer again. So like it was still not like, it was below 80, which is lovely, but the humidity rose again. So I was like, let me get a walk in. Let me do that. So I did that today. Then kind of took it easy. Walks are so refreshing in the fall. Totally. This is still, so I'm in South Carolina right now, and it's still pretty much just summer. It is just, the humidity is just very high. So, I'm still in shorts. So I went for a walk. That was good. Then I got a little lazy. I made the choice to watch and take notes on the last episode of the Misfit, the Misfit of Demon King Academy, which went up today, the last episode of that show. So I watched that because I was like, oh, this will be good for me to like finish this up and I could talk about it tonight. So I did that, And then I got just kind of lazy watching videos on YouTube, doing my thing. I am currently, for folks that don't know, I'm currently staying with my parents because I was unemployed before all of the industry that I am accustomed to working in completely stopped and will be done for a very long time. So I moved here to South Carolina with my folks for a bit as I try to figure some stuff out. So I did that, and then they were made the choice to go to their friends today for like a happy hour hangout thing. They are in the bubble. This my mom sees. These are people that my parents see all the time. So I'm like, yeah, all right, keeping that going. I made the choice to not do that. So I just made some pasta. I ate a bunch of pasta. Made some ziti. Didn't bake it. Didn't do baked ziti. Just did boiled ziti. But there was some nice Italian sausage that I cooked up. That tasted really great. Put that right in the sauce. And that was excellent. It was just like, and a salad. Did I make a salad for myself? Yes, I did. Do I feel good about that? When I consider all the carbs and sugars and various other things that I ate, yeah, I'm still feeling okay about that. What's the biggest difference between South Carolina and where you moved from? So, I moved from New York City, where I lived in New York consistently and continuously from the year 2001 until the year 2020. I was there a very long time. Am I a little mad that I didn't make it a full 20 years before I moved here for a few months? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm bummed about a bunch of stuff, including that. So I moved from one of the biggest, busiest cities in the world to a suburb in South Carolina. And, it's different. One of my biggest regrets in recent memory was, so I originally was from Connecticut and moved to New York. And I never transferred my license from Connecticut to New York, my driver's license. I should have. I had my license. It still said Connecticut on it. I was like, this is fine. I don't need this. Whatever. I'm not driving in New York. No problem. And I should have gotten it transferred, and I didn't. And then I was like, well, I have I have an ID, and I've got a passport card. This is fine. This will be okay. And then my license was up for renewal, and I was able to do it online, and that was fine. And then my license was up for another renewal, and it had to be done in person in Connecticut. And I didn't want to go to Connecticut just to renew my license in person. So I didn't. And I just let my license expire. And I should not have done that. And I regret it very much to this day. Because I can't legally drive a car here in South Carolina, which limits a lot of my options as far as, in New York. I mean, there are parts of New York City where you absolutely, if you have a car, the world is open to you. If you're on the FDR, you can just like cruise up and down. You can just get from the outside of the city in, no problem. There are parts of Queens, far out in Queens, that it's essential to have a car because you're not really living in New York at that point. You're living in Queens. But for me, it didn't matter that I didn't have a car. Like, I didn't have a license or a car. It didn't come up. It wasn't a problem. But I should have done it because now I can't do anything without help. There is Uber here. There is Lyft. And it's pretty reasonable. I haven't taken it yet. Haven't had the need to yet. But there's nothing in walking distance. I'll say that. I can't walk. Like, there aren't any Pokestops near me. There's a Pokestop that is distance-wise near me, but because these are all dead ends, cul-de-sacs, suburb stuff that is just kind of popped up here and there, to get from me to the closest Pokestop, I would have to walk 45 minutes and it would involve crossing like a 4-lane road to just to get to a Pokestop. So like, not having the access to a vehicle on my own is demoralizing a bit. Ball Ridge just cheered 74 bits. Appreciate that so much. Going to throw the applause in there. Thank you so much, Ball Ridge. I had to spend a lot of money today fixing my car. I live in a place where you need a car. Epic World, I'm sorry that money came up, but I hope your car is the money you put into it will mean that your car is going to be good for a while and hopefully safe. And maybe you won't have to put a little bit of money into it all the time because you put a bunch of money into it. This sounds like Pokemon Go in the boonies. Yeah, it is. I thought I loved Pokemon Go, and then I went to downtown Columbus, and my room was within walking distance of 2 Pokestops. Yeah, so my area of Brooklyn, there was not a Pokestop that I could access from my bedroom, but I could get to one if I went to the corner. So, like, there would be days in, isolation where I didn't go and do anything when I was in New York, but I did go out and put on a mask to walk to the Pokestop. But throughout my day, I would just run into a bunch. Like, sometimes there's that, like, you get your, like, your quests, and one of the quests is, like, go to a Pokestop you've never been to before. In New York, that's not hard. I would just walk a direction I don't normally walk, and eventually I would find one that I hadn't been to before. It was not difficult. Here, it's not that hard, but also that's because I'm never near Pokestops. Is there anything you prefer to live in the suburbs? It's got to be quiet at least. Yeah, so Bobby, I didn't really mind the quiet. So there is a increase right now of quality of life that I certainly have. I've been to all the stops in town. Yeah. So first and foremost, there is air conditioning throughout the entire house that I'm living in right now because I'm staying with my folks. We have air conditioning. In New York, you kind of get an air conditioner in your bedroom if you want one, and you pay more of the utilities. I did not have an air conditioner the entire time. There was one apartment I lived in where I had what they call central air that was throughout the whole place, and every other place was just a bunch of fans. So I have been very comfortable in that. So I appreciate that. Because I go for a walk every day, I don't wear a mask when I go for a walk because I don't run into people. Occasionally, someone else will be out on a street in the afternoon. Part of that is because I go for a walk in the afternoon where it's extra hot and no one is out then, so I plan that. But I can go for a walk and I'll see someone across the street, but no one's in my way. In New York, I would have never left the house in New York without my mask on, and I've put my mask on in the apartment and put gloves on. I never would have done that. Here, it's a lot easier to just be like, yeah, I'm going to walk around my neighborhood. I'm going to wave to a few people. Like nobody is wearing a mask in their yard. They have them for their car. They get in their car to go somewhere. They take a mask, hopefully. But yeah, so like that's been a nice little bit of business. To do it like that. I just got a place with central air and it's a game changer. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm never worried about, well, am I tired enough to fall asleep while I'm so uncomfortable? Which was a thing that, like, maybe like 4 or 5 or a week, 4 or 5 days or a week out of the year would be that in New York, where I would, like, take a cold shower and I would put my pillow at the foot of my bed because it was closer to my window, just to try to get any kind of breeze. Ever shout, hey, I'm walking here, just to feel a little bit of home? No, Lashbrook, I haven't shouted anything. Well, that's not true. So, if there's no one coming in the other way, right? People will get so far out of the way. Cars will do everything. They will drive completely on the other side of the road, even if I've stepped into the grass because there's no sidewalks where I am. They so don't want to get anywhere near me. But one day, a truck, I don't know if they were mad at someone else to take it out of me, but they got real close to me. They got so close to me and there was no one there. So as they drove past, I just instinctively just turned and started yelling like, "Come on! Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?" I've never in my life yelled, "Where are you from?" before. But like, I don't know, it was in me. I'm the visitor to this state, but to me I was like, "Come on. What was that?" So that's the only instance I've had where I have gotten a little New York-ish. As someone who gets packages of gun pulp very often, it's easier to get packages in the suburbs versus NYC. So, Bobby, here, way easier because, one, like, it's a house and not an apartment. Now, it was I lived in a two-story apartment for most of my time, so it wasn't that bad to get packages delivered because my landlord was home all the time. So that made it good. I know other people have had, people that live in big apartment buildings that may even have a mail room. That's a little tougher. Here, not so bad because, if they leave it, it's probably going to be fine. A package on my front door here is going to be more fine than it would have been in New York. But also, like, I worked at night, so I was home a lot. My landlord was there. There was a period in an apartment before my last one where I would just do, if I was ordering stuff, I would just do Amazon Locker because there was a locker nearby, and that was obviously safer. So I would do that a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, the real thing is that living in New York meant that I could get Prime 2-day sometimes took literally a day because there's a warehouse in New Jersey. So sometimes I would order something at like 9 a.m. and get it the next day at 4 p.m. So that, and now Prime is like not 2 days. It's 4 or 5. Because like there is a processing area in North Carolina, but if I'm ordering stuff, it's probably getting on a plane or it's getting on a couple trucks before it gets on there. Whereas in New York, sometimes it was coming in from New York or New Jersey, and it was literally getting in a truck to a place in Brooklyn and then they're brought to me. So that worked out pretty great. Also, New York has like delivery people. So sometimes you can get stuff on Sunday. And that I do kind of miss that. Speaking of shipping stuff, I guess I complained enough that my Gunpla stuff got delayed and now is all scheduled to get here Monday. Yeah, mine are both just scheduled to be here on Tuesday. Obviously, you're in Texas and I am here on the East Coast, and they both came from California. Right now, both of mine are scheduled to be there on Tuesday, but one is closer. So, fingers crossed. Of course, the one that's closer is not the Death Scythe package. The Death Scythe package is still is a day behind. So, weirdly enough, when I looked, half was in West Texas and the other half was in East Texas. Nice. Yeah. So, it seems like, so I ordered some stuff in April. I pre-ordered two items from Premium Bandai in April, and that are going to arrive. That were shipped September 22nd or started to process September 22nd. Okay, that's fine. In the meantime, months later, I went ahead and did some pre-order stuff as part of their Gunpla online event. Bandai's Gunpla, like, convention-ish thing. And a lot of that stuff was stuff that they would have sold exclusively at conventions. So instead they did it there. And that was in August. So that turnover time was a lot quicker. But those two items got shipped out faster. Most likely because those items were planned to be in America, at the end of last year, beginning of this year. As opposed to the other things that have to, slowly make their way to the different distributing points and yada, yada, yada. But they're coming. I'm going to have some cool stuff. I'm going to build a Death Scythe. Hey, it's been a while since I built a Death Scythe, and I'm excited to do that. Bald Ridge says, kind of jump of topics, but did you see that Soya from Bon Appetit is binging with Babbage now? I did not see that. I don't keep up on Babbage. That's an indication that I might want to start. I have found that Babish has run out of pop culture things that I care about to make. And so a lot of times I'm like, I don't care about that thing, and I don't watch it. And I think his basics I think are really interesting. And so I do check those out. But yeah, I'm not super on him. I mean, I'm still looking for my Bon Appetit like replacement. I'm still looking for that video coverage of food with interesting personalities, where their interesting personalities are not high energy nonsense that I don't want to watch. And it's been a tough thing because I'm done with Mythical Kitchen. Done with Mythical Kitchen. I cannot stand Josh and his fake tan. I cannot do it anymore. That dude, if you like him, if you like Mythical Kitchen, if that's your jam, more power to you. I'm happy for you. I hope you really enjoy it. But I can't with that dude anymore. I just fucking can't. And he is not touching stuff with gloves because his fingers don't have sensation anymore. So he just touches hot stuff, and I can't. Bald Ridge, I'm glad. But yeah, he's just got sometimes the bad part of personality driven is when you don't like the personality, right? So sometimes you're just like, I don't like what's happening right now, and I can't. So Epic on Worlds, it's not that he doesn't have feelings. So a thing that happens with chefs is folks that have been cooking for a long time, especially folks that cook in a restaurant, they just touch hot things so much that their brains don't interpret the pain of touching something hot anymore because they have just burned their fingers and their fingertips so often. They have developed calluses. So he touches things that are very hot, but he also realizes, I shouldn't touch this, and he says, don't do what I'm doing right now, instead of just not doing it. And it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. But it is just a thing that I have decided I don't enjoy. But yeah, I was looking for that that replacement, that fun with food kind of thing, because I miss it. I miss having that kind of content. I think that content is great. Ooh, I dropped a bunch of frames there. Ooh, still dropping frames. The local recording won't notice this at all, but okay, great. Sorry about that if it was a problem. We just dropped a bunch of frames, but we're back on the green box, I should say that. Josh is both a cutie and mad lad incarnate. Yes. Have you looked into starting up or joining any improv stuff local? I'm not sure how that works with social distancing. It would still be a thing, or has that moved online? So, I have not looked at anything locally. I mean, I've been looking for local work. Literally, there is a comedy theater here. It does mostly stand-up. There is some improv. A lot of it's short form. There is some stuff there. But they've said, a lot of people have called because they're staying with folks and staying, with their parents or whatever, looking for work. And, this head sits in the paper. It's like, I'd rather hire, local people rather than hire from without. And I totally understand that and respect that. But yeah, I mean, I'm still doing, I have a practice group made up of very bored improvisers, and that has been really nice. We don't meet often we do not meet as often as I would like us to meet. Ooh, am I missing one of these? Ooh. Maybe the front one was supposed to be black. I'm going to go back, folks, because I'm supposed to have 4 of these, and I can only find 3. But I'm supposed to have 4 of this same color, and it's the same color as that, which is right. But there's one here on the front, so maybe that's the wrong color. Let me go back here. figure this out. But yeah, so I got a kind of a practice group. Oh yeah, this is the wrong color. This is supposed to be black. So there you go, folks. I figured out my mistake, caught it. Nice. Didn't borrow from the future, just did it wrong, fixed it out. But yeah, so I've been doing a little bit of that just to kind of keep myself sharp. And there's a lot of performances that happen online. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. So I haven't done like an online improv show. I've done some like short formish stuff in streams here and there, which reminds me I gotta do the old, hey, if you need me at any point, it's been a couple months since I did my like message people that have a bigger fan base than I do about if they need anyone to guest. My internet connection here is, so here's the thing. I was a guest on, and very happy to be, but I guested on Kathleen's Island Tours a couple times. You may have seen one of those or heard about that, Kathleen from Loading Ready Run, and I was very happy to guest on that. But we figured out a thing, so basically she's the only one on webcam, and nobody else is on webcam, it's just their audio. And it was set up through Discord, and you could share a screen and watch her screen. Well, when I would go to watch her shared screen and get that feed, it would make my voice through Discord sound robotic and terrible. And as soon as I stopped watching her feed, it would be fine. If I watched the Twitch stream, no problem at all. It's a slightly delayed, but I could just watch that. And I don't know why that's happened. I've been a guest through webcam on other people's stuff, and it's been fine. I think it was just Discord and how Discord processes audio, because it was trying to like, I don't know what it was trying to do, but it was trying to, I think it prioritized what I was watching over my own voice, and I get why it would do that, but that was obviously not great. So yeah, because I'm on a Wi-Fi signal here instead of my very good internet that I used to have in New York, my Fios fiber. Oof, miss it. But yeah, I'm still like, it's been a little while since I put out an email going like, hey, if people need a guest, if you're doing stuff and you want somebody on there, let me know. It's been a hot minute since I did that. And I would like to again, because it's fun to be on other people's stuff and do things. I don't know. That stuff is cool. It was fun recording a thing for PAX and just like whatever. It was like nice to do some stuff. I first discovered you from your Fiasco games with Giant Bomb. Have you looked into card version of Fiasco? Any chance of playing some of that online? Yeah, I mean, like the idea of doing a online game. I haven't played a lot of online stuff lately as far as card games or Fiasco, in a bit. Just getting people together. Honestly, because I have, like a lot of people, I have made my hobby a thing that I do like on a schedule. Like Hearthstone is still a thing I play every day, but every couple weeks I play Hearthstone on a stream. That doesn't count to me. Model kit building, I don't build models or Legos outside of the streams. I just don't. Because I do it 6 hours a week. So right now, tabletop stuff, role-playing games, I will do them if asked, but I'm not like, right now I'm not feeling it as far as like organizing a tabletop day. My local group, my local, like what used to be a D&D group that then became a Fiasco and a Lasers and Feelings group and a bunch of other things, that unfortunately kind of like fizzled out. But I did have a group, and I'm hoping that we can maybe get back together and do some more stuff. But yeah, right now that kind of like role-playing is a bit of a me thing. And I don't have a lot of me things, because even like I'm thrilled that I now make a video every other week that's about anime, and every stream I talk about the anime I'm watching, because I didn't have an outlet for that for a very long time, and I'm psyched to have that. But I don't really have a lot. I don't really have a lot of stuff that isn't monetized, um, and so it is a little bit of a thing that you keep a little. I used to have improv, was it in groups or sit-ins, or write a sketch now and again and put it up somewhere. I had some outlets, creative outlets that weren't for an audience and weren't like to increase my brand. And it's been a little while since I had something for me. Indie tabletop RPG is where it's at, even if you don't necessarily do it on the stream. Yeah. I started miss indie games on demand stuff from various conventions I used to go to. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, it's kind of that thing. Like, yeah, I every once in a while I'll do something, like even like Jackbox. Like a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I want to do Jackbox, but we'll just do it in Discord if that's cool." I was like, "Yeah, I definitely want to play Jackbox in Discord." Like, it wasn't a stream. Nobody streamed it. It happened to feature out of the 8 of us, 3 of us were streamers, but none of us were streaming it because we were just like, oh, what if we just like, can we find a day where we could all just like get together and hang out? And like, yeah, it was really nice to have that. And I was happy that it was just like a thing for us, because I'm trying to, keep time for that. There's even if it's like, oh, I don't talk, I'm watching the show, but I'm not talking about it on the streams. Occasionally if something comes up, I'll talk about it, but like, it's kind of nice to have a thing. Like, sometimes in my marathon watching, there'll be a show I haven't watched that I'm watching that I'm like, this is for me. I don't have to talk about that. Luckily, it says Baldrich, my D&D group transitioned to online fairly easily. I should probably start playing tomorrow. Planning tomorrow's game soon. Yeah. Yes, you should. But that's great. I'm glad. I'm glad you're able to make that transition, because some people aren't able to. And obviously, everyone's forced to, but some people were always resistant to doing it. That's why I think like Fiasco, Lasers and Feelings, there are a bunch of other, there are some things that allow you, there are games that are, in my opinion, easier to run, especially Fiasco, because you're just like, it's obviously very improv focused, but you're just like, you don't need to have virtual dice. Someone could just do it. It's hard. Planning online is so different and requires a lot of very different social cues. Yes, planning. You said playing. I think we're planning. Yeah. In some instances, planning is a lot easier because you don't have to take in time. Like, one, a lot of people aren't doing stuff. There's some people that are active or they have jobs. They are unable to not go out to take care of those responsibilities. But there are plenty of people that are working from home, and now you don't have to worry about people's commuting. You can be like, yeah, I can dedicate 3 hours that day because I have something until half an hour before, and then I'll just be ready to go. So sometimes the planning can actually be good, but the playing, overtalk is a hard thing because, especially if you have a group full of people that like each other, which seems counterintuitive, but yeah, I mean, if you're vibing and everyone's like wants to jump in on it and have a fun time, you have to be like doing it via webcam. I think is helpful. Although I have done them where we were all on voice and nobody could see each other, and that sometimes actually worked out okay because you were forced to, in that instance, you had to pause because people were actively trying to be supportive of each other. So people would pause and let people talk, or say, "Oh, go ahead," and like they were a little more receptive to it because we're all in the same boat in that way. Especially in Fiasco, having a big crazy conversation usually leads to some interruptions and talking over one another. Yeah, you can't talk over one another. It makes it very difficult if people are not allowing each other focus and allowing each other to to have their moments. Yeah, and you have to really careful about social cues because, especially GMs that like to talk. Sometimes you're on a roll, and then you aren't looking, and you aren't noticing that people are like losing focus and looking at other things. And in the room, you might be better at doing it. I know that in our 4-hour session, we will play about 2 and 5-ish hours. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? People take breaks, people go for a walk, people get distracted by things. It's a little easier to get distracted when you are not all in the same room. But you also don't have the issue of, like, who's late. Well, people can be late, certainly, but, like, who's late because of traffic and hasn't told anyone, who's, like, who just wants to who is doing this and definitely just wants to hang out. Now, I did join a one-off group, and there were definitely people in that group who were just starved to talk to anyone, even on Zoom, that they were just starved for human interaction, that definitely were not, that would have been fine if it was just a Zoom hangout, I think. But, we're done with our flatbed. We are now moving on to the helicopter. Flatbed has been completed. So put flatbed over there. You can see the flatbed as I build this helicopter. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, if you're saying I want to do this online, you're hopefully interested in actually doing it. Otherwise, just like, I don't know, email your friends about getting a Zoom together. When players have access to a screen with a browser, they get off topic easier. Yes, certainly. You can. It certainly happens. In my games, it's been really important to call out breaks ahead of time. Like, hey, we're going to play for an hour, then take a break, then play another hour. Yes, instead of just someone bringing it up and going, hey, can we take a break and whatever. Like saying, like, yeah, we're going to schedule a break and we're going to do that. And then just trying to stick to it. Because the thing that sometimes people have is, and you're like, hey, what if we just, like, if you just want to hang out, just want to hang out. But, like, we want to do something fun and accomplish something. And sometimes you have to be a little bit of the bad guy. And I'm always fine with being the bad guy. I was the guy that scheduled rehearsals for things. I'm the one that sends reminders. I'm the one that tries not to be rude about people giving their dues and paying for the things they got to pay for and all that. Never had a problem being that guy. I am okay with being the bad guy in that respect. Actually, Birch and Thomas Middledish are part of a Vampire the Masquerade tabletop campaign I'm trying to get into as something new to watch. Ooh, okay. Yeah. It could be fun. I do miss Vampire, and I believe that, I believe they both would be good at that. I could both see Thomas being very good at it and driving me absolutely bonkers watching him play that. I could see both those things happening. What's your favorite indie tabletop role-playing game you played? Anything real niche? So no, unfortunately, Bobby, I don't have. I enjoy the framework of Lasers and Feelings. I played a lot of Fiasco, and I played. So I played a heavily modified version of Lasers and Feelings in a long campaign. But really, and then I played D&D. I mean, I played a bunch of D&D virtually. But yeah, I'm not super. It's not really been the thing that I played a lot of over the years. And I played some people like doing their take on Mafia, their take on Werewolf, that kind of thing, trying to expand the roles and all that. A friend of mine created a system that was it was like Sons of Sherlock. That was like kind of fun. I'm not really into Sherlock as an entity, but I played it. It was a bunch of characters that all thought they were the only legitimate son of Sherlock Holmes, and they were all brought together. And that was kind of fun. It was loosely based on the the McElroy's bonus thing where they played 3 Sherlock Holmes or 4 Sherlock Holmes or whatever it was. Someone was like, could you actually make that like a good game? And so a friend of mine put together like their version of it, and it was okay. Um, so you're saying Sherlock Holmes likes the fuck? I mean, either he definitely did, or he only did it once, and a bunch of people were lied to about who their dad was. We never. I don't believe we ever figured it out. I think we concluded that one person wasn't the son of Sherlock Holmes, but everybody else, it was up for debate. Uh, One of my favorites is Secret Science Sewer Siblings. It's also based on Lasers and Feelings rule set, making a TMT-ish game. Ooh, okay. Secret Science Sewer Siblings. It even works. Secret Science Sewer Siblings. Yeah, okay. I built a Capes game built around a Monster of the Week framework. Ooh, nice. Yeah, so the most successful thing I've ever played in was, I've talked about this on stream before a bit, but I'll mention it here because why the F not? It was built in the Lasers and Feelings system, and it was very similar to the television cartoon Mask. Not the Jim Carrey vehicle, but the Mask. So it was meant for an organization. So the DM, or the GM, I should say, the GM would be in charge of like a one-off mission, and you would play the same character, and we would mix and match because it was a large group of people. So it was like, if there is someone that wants to GM and a few people that want to play, then it's time to do a game. We called it Mask because it was just easier, but we would just play that, and one of the things that was kind of fun was, you would have adventures that you would go on, and there'd be somebody at the table that didn't go on that adventure, and so you could incorporate some stuff from it, like why you were injured, why you had a grudge against someone, techniques or abilities you had that you didn't have before, and it was kind of fun to be like, oh yeah, well that happened at this time. It was a very fun way to play an ongoing, with it just being very episodic, very Monster of the Week or Villain of the Week kind of focused, like mission based. That was a lot of fun. That lasted a very long time. That was the most successful thing I've ever, games I've ever been a part of. Because my D&D group only lasted. My D&D group was in person, and people kept getting jobs, which is great. But and I was my own boss. I mean, I had bosses, but I was in charge of the schedule. So I would constantly be like getting a cover once a month or once a week, changing my stuff around, trying to like accommodate people, and then inevitably someone would be like, "Oh, I got a new bartending gig. I can't do Fridays anymore," or whatever. I mean, yeah, Bald Ridge. They just kept people just in my group kept getting like gigs, like I said, yeah, they would get a new bartending job, and suddenly they have to work Saturday during the day, or they would get a commercial and they'd be gone for 3 weeks. Survivor, but people lose when they get a job. Yeah, Lord Crashington. Yeah, it was just a thing where it was just like people got busy, and it became very difficult. And then people would like, some people would be like, "Well, hey, could we do it this time instead of that time?" And you're like, "Yeah, we can." And some people would be like, "No, that's a time I can't do," and then people would drop out, and it sucks to play D&D when you have people like when you have to like decide why adventurers are not part of the party anymore. Like that's just not fun. It became its own amount of work that folks were not super interested in. And I was definitely among them that I really liked doing it. But yeah, so the one-shots was a lot easier. Doing the Mask game just ended up working out a lot better because it was just way more fun. Because you didn't have to be there all the time. And then eventually, like anything, people got pulled in other directions. We had 4 people that liked to GM for us, And then, at the height, I think we would have like 3 things going at once. But then eventually, like, GMs got pulled in other stuff and they started working on their own games, their own systems, or just kind of got into it. And then also, eventually, people would get into personal beefs, like somebody broke up with somebody and maybe they were both in the group, or one person was in the group and their best friend was like, I gotta bounce out of this group because of this drama. There was just people drama. I take it as a weird challenge to figure out reasons that players weren't around or why they were acting weird. Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, if people are like not there, yeah, you have to write around somebody missing. Yeah, it could be a fun challenge. But yeah, eventually organizing becomes, and keeping things together becomes its own sort of job, and then people are like, I'm not into this job anymore. And I get that. This is a pretty neat little thing. You see that? So we built it like this. Our helicopter right there. That's just neat. That's a neat design for our helicopter. Hey, I don't want to jinx things or anything, but like, thanks everybody for being here tonight. I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to this stuff, but the numbers lately have been a little down, and I love anybody that comes through. I'm so happy if you come through, if you have a good time. You be active in chat. You can just relax. You don't have to be here every time. You don't have to say anything. If you take a week or a month off, like whatever, you can pop in any time. If a build doesn't interest you, you can bounce. I'm okay, and that's fine. But it is nice when there are people here watching. That is a thing that is nice. Because we had a couple low number streams, and then also I feel bad because sometimes I have stuff to talk about, and sometimes I definitely don't have things to talk about, and then there's no one in chat, and it's just like, fucking yikes! Oh no. Baldridge says I had someone who needed to be away for 2 sessions. It changed the game since I had to write why they weren't there. Turns out they're part dragon, and a cult tried to make them ascend. Oh no! I love chatting with you. I always tell my friends about you. It's really entertaining. I can't make it every night, though. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Also, I build 3 nights a week. And 1 night a week I play games or do, like this past Wednesday, I did my anime wrap-up for the season. So, like, I do a lot of content. And there are other streamers out there. And also, I do know that in an attempt to split the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast, I run 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., which for some people is too late on a Monday for some East Coast folks, and too early for some West Coast folks, because I'm starting at 6 p.m. for them. And I've tried my best to kind of split the difference. I used to stream at 8 p.m., and that's tough. I stream MTG in the mornings. It's either 30 folks or no one. Luckily, I just playing the game. Yeah, Baldridge. I mean, that's the thing, right? I have found that, for me anyway, and you stream Mario Maker on Fridays and Saturdays. Nice. When I stream on game stuff, when I do game streams, I'm okay with having 6 or 8 people, 20 people at the, on the other side suddenly. Like, I'm okay with both those things because I'm playing a game and I can interact with the game and I have something to talk about and something to do there. And I think I have like a fine enough time doing that. Whereas sometimes when I am what? Uh-oh. I only see 2 of these right now. Oh! So I can only find these 2 pieces, right, of this color. And I'm looking and I'm like, well, I also have this from the build. I thought this was one solid piece. It's not. I Didn't even realize that. I was taking them apart, didn't even notice it. Because I'm like, wait, I only have 2 of these. Where's the other 2? I had them. But yeah, I mean, when I'm playing the game, I have something to talk about. When I'm building here, folks, it is always nice when people want to chat because, I can only talk so much about the Lego set. But in that case, yes. This just it looked like, because there are pieces like that. I don't have one in front of me, but it just looked like one solid piece because it was part of the build I had done where I, assembled the whole kit and then disassembled it. That really threw me off, folks. I was really like, what piece am I missing? What happened? Where'd they go? I disassembled that on Thursday and then didn't move any Legos between then and today. But anyway, yeah. It is nice to have folks in chat for when I'm doing stuff, because I like to hear what's going on with y'all and what you're all up to. It's nice when we got our friends who are regulars and we get some new people and some people that stop in, and then some old favorites pop in now and again, and that's always nice. It's always a good time. We get our friends who come in the second hour because I'm the only person they know who streams and talks about anime, so they come in for the second hour because they want to hear my thoughts on the anime they're also watching, and they want to be able to chat with me about that. We get a few folks like that, and that's always fun. To just drop a piece there, so let me see if I can get that real quick with my... Yeah, a little easier to get stuff. The nice thing about working on carpet here is, 1, when I drop something, it's easier to see, and 2, it doesn't bounce in the carpet, whereas hardwood floors, like I used to have, pieces would have a tendency to just bounce away. Have you a chance to try Among Us yet? Seemed like you'd be a good trickster with your improv experience. Yeah, I'm not the best liar in the world, but I do like deception games. I've played it a bit with some people. Haven't played it on any streams yet. But yeah, if you'd like to check out an interesting way to watch people play Among Us, if you go and look at Loading Ready Run, Loading Ready Run, all one word, Loading Ready Run. Their archive from this past Wednesday, they played Among Us, and when it was time to go to a vote, as characters died, they would like turn off their webcams. So you just have the people who are live chatting, and then you would only see one person when it was people running around doing their jobs. You could hear people, but you wouldn't hear people. You would only see Graham Stark playing. So you'd only kind of see what was going on through his eyes. But then when it was time, everybody else's webcams would be on, and it was a pretty neat way to do it. It was a pretty unique way to see people. I went and watched that archive. Wednesday we went and joined, and I went and hosted it. But then later I just went back and watched it myself because I was like, this is a pretty cool way to watch that. But yeah, I played it a little bit. Looking for, hopefully I'll find a good group for it. Kind of check it out. But yeah, that has been an interesting game to kind of play with people. It's not necessarily my jam, but it is something that I think is kind of interesting. Among Us with webcams sounds so hard. Just doing voice is hard enough to sound convincing. Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to play it up and kind of play your part. So in some ways that's probably harder, but in other ways it might be easier because you are you're fully committing to a performance. You are inhabiting a character, the character of the person that definitely didn't murder someone just now. I can appreciate that as being just like, yeah, that's just a fun way of doing it. I am liking this helicopter. I'm looking forward to finishing this little thing up. And of course, after that, we do have the third build, which is the pickup and the camper. But yeah, I'm digging this kit so far, this build. Mary Kish was playing it with some friends of friends. Fun to see a newbie playing with vets who overthink newbie skills. Oh yeah, who had that strategy? Somebody, I can't remember who. Oh, a friend of a friend, Curtis, has a strategy of he just lies all the time. He would just lie about being the murderer when he wasn't. He was constantly just lying and throwing people off. Or if he was the murderer, but he hadn't commit the murder there, but he was, he would just like lie all the time, and it was really throwing people off because they're like, I can't tell if you're great at this or you're awful at this. She kept claiming that she was too stupid to trick anyone when she was accused, like that. Yeah. That's a very good thing for like games like Secret Hitler and other like accusation games where you're just like, look, I don't know how to do that. I can't. I don't know how to fool people. Bobby says I haven't watched anime in a long while, but your anime recaps have made me want to get back into watching. I love your passion. Well, I appreciate that, Bobby. Patrick Kopech did it recently too. Every time they accused him, he'd just say, I don't know, I got lost. And also, if you're just starting to play the game, you could get lost moving around there. You're like, why were you in that room if you were supposed to be doing that? I don't know where engineering is, guys. I'm sorry, I was just following people. I don't know what else to do. And maybe you have figured it out, or you study. That would be the real trick play. Would be to do all the research, watch a lot of streams, learn all about the game, but be honest when you say, I haven't really played that often. I really don't know. I just don't have the experience playing the game. But you've done a lot of the research. Well, I appreciate you talking about my passion for that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it is a thing that I'm psyched to talk about when it comes up in the second hour. After the pause for the cause, which is coming up in a few moments, we're going to finish up the helicopter. Then I'll start our pause for the cause. I have a couple shows to talk about that just wrapped up, and it just happens that a couple of them I really, really liked. So it's going to be fun to talk about them. Best part about Among Us is what it did for the devs. That game came out 2 years ago, and literally no one was playing it. A couple big name streamers start playing, and bam, it's the new Fall Guys. Yeah, the best thing that happened to Among Us is Fall Guys, because Fall Guys got really hot, and then people got a little tired of it, but they still wanted to play with their friends, and boom, a game people hadn't played in a while is suddenly a big thing, and then a team of 3 is now like, well, I guess we're not going to make... We thought Among Us 2 would sell well because Among Us sold well enough for us, but now I guess we got to put a lot more effort into Among Us 1, which is cool. Yeah, they basically are like, we're going to do the stuff. They're like, yeah, we're just going to pump in a bunch of quality of life stuff that we were planning to do in the sequel into the first one. We just have to figure out how we're going to actually do that with all the code and such. But yeah, I think that's awesome. All right, we are done here. We got our car and our helicopter. So I'm going to put that there. Ooh, the helicopter fits in really nicely there. So I'm going to take a photo of that, and then we will take our pause for the cause, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. But let me get a photo here of this. Just get a nice little cool photo of our helicopter and our truck. It'll go on my Discord later. I'm going to take one like that, and then I'm going to do one like this. Look at that. Yeah. Neat. Cool. All right. So, hey everybody. I'm going to take a pause for the cause. This is going to be a couple minutes where I talk about ways you can support the channel. You're under no obligation to do any of the things I'm saying here. I don't need you to. I would love you to. But you don't have to worry about it if you don't want to. If you just want to watch, if you want to give me a follow so you know when I go live, turn your notifications on so you know when that happens, that would be great. If you would like to become a subscriber, that would be awesome. You could use Cash Money, or it's still September. So if you want to use you want to become a subscriber that way and save some money, Cash Money, you could do that. If you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave leg of the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know that you're here and you're a subscriber. I really appreciate it if that's something you'd like to do. You could be like Bald Ridge did earlier and donate bits and coins. You could gift a sub, like Bobby and Silverstreak. You join the leaderboard by gifting a sub. Bobby just gifted 5 subs. Thank you so much. I'm going to hit the old applause there. So welcome, unwitting Marcosian, Kumahara. I know you. What's up? Mass Lost, Fire Wraith, and Soup Dumpling. Underscore exclamation point soup dumpling. That's a great username. Welcome. Thank you so much, Bobby. Really appreciate that. Thank you for that. And folks, if you're watching in chat and you just got gifted a sub, feel free to thank Bobby for that. But yeah, it's gonna take a second there for all these to come up. So we got a soup dumpling in just 1 second because I have a delay in them so they don't overlap. But yeah, that's a huge way to support the channel. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. The stream tonight has been one of my favorites. Well, I appreciate that. That's so nice of you. We still got more to do. We're going to disassemble this kit and then start the third Lego thing. But right now, I'm just going to take a couple minutes to talk about ways you can support the channel. If subscribing, gifting a sub doesn't appeal to you, bits and coins, if that's not your style, I also have an alternative, which is you could join my Patreon. I got a Patreon. Also, folks, if you are watching this stream on YouTube, you're watching the archive later after the fact, all the links I'm about to put in here are in the show description. If you're watching the VOD after the fact, you can look into the chat archive and see that right there. Those are options that you have, which is pretty neat. But yeah, I have that. Also, one-time donations, if that's something you'd like to do. You could do a donation there. Anything that I get during the streams, through everything I make through Patreon, through Twitch, through direct donations, goes to buying model kits. While I do have 4 things coming in the mail, so my backlog is going to be pretty decent right now, because right now it's just like 2 things, and it'll now expand to 6, which is great. I'm always looking to have more stuff to build because, you know, once I build it, it's done. It goes and I look at it and I think it looks neat. Or if it's Lego, I just assemble it, put it in a big envelope, because eventually I'm going to do my own custom build. But I want to have a lot of Lego for that. I also have a wish list. So if you're like Pat, I know that you bought stuff to build, but I think you should build this one particular thing, so much so that I'm going to buy it on Amazon and it'll go to you in the mail and jump the queue. Well, you could do that. I've got inexpensive Lego sets. I've got reasonably priced high grades on there. I've got stuff that is not reasonably priced because it's hard out there, y'all, and especially stuff that it hasn't been getting restocks from Japan. Suddenly they're, like, sometimes, hey, I put on there a $33 master grade. That's a good price. That is the RGM 79G. Like, that's a good price for a master grade. There's other master grades that are like $40-something, which, that is expensive. But I try to have a wide variety of different kind of model kits at different prices, cheap stuff, expensive stuff, because I understand you're doing me a huge favor by buying something off my wish list. But yeah, it'll come in the mail. I'll build it ahead of time. I'll even make a video for my YouTube where I unbox and show it off and give you a shout out. I have also, if you're like, well, Pat, I don't want to buy stuff from Amazon. I totally get that. There is a store where I can't have a wish list on the store, so it doesn't work that way. But USA Gundam store, you could buy a gift card and they send you an email with the code in an email. And then you can whisper me here on Twitch or DM me on Twitter, because my DMs are open, and be like, hey, here is a gift card. And then I will buy something. Will it be a pre-order? Sometimes yes. I did have somebody that was like, hey, I bought this gift card for you. I want you to buy that cup noodle model kit. Pre-order that cup noodle model kit with this money. And I did do that because I was like, yeah, that sounds perfect. That was something that I did want. So sure. And that was very generous. I have a Discord. Folks, we'll get back to building in just a minute, but I am going to just go through these real quick. I have a Discord. Feel free to join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. Some people have been posting their collections on there. Look, sometimes there's only one post a day. It's a very chill Discord, but it's nice if you're like, you want to see like what people have been building. Folks that have been in chat, or You know, like that's just kind of a nice little thing. I'm going to link to a video. Baering the List is an ongoing video series that I do every single Wednesday. I use Tier Maker to rank things. I ranked cereals this week. Please check that out. I will have a new Pat Bear's Anime Club video going up on Monday, but that was the live video that I did on Wednesday on the stream. So that's coming out on Monday. In case you didn't watch the live stream, I just talked about my favorite shows from the last season, which I had a few. All right, let's see here. We'll get that ready. We're going to get back to building. We're going to do some disassembly, and I'm going to talk about some anime. I am going to drink a little water right now because I do need it. And if you want to drink a little water or stretch or whatever, it's not a good time to do that. But we'll go to the overhead here. So right now what I'm going to do is, what's the Gundam Store pre-order that you're most looking forward to? So coming on by Tuesday is a Death Scythe. It is a Death Scythe from the manga spin-off. So it is the Rosette unit. I love building Death Scythes. Always have, probably always will. I can't imagine a time where I'd be like, no, I'm not in the Death Scythes anymore. So it's a Death Scythe with very cool wings, and I can't wait to build that. Next month, I've got 2 pre-orders coming in, and one is Ultimate Gohan. It's the action figure model kit. It's the Figure-Rise stuff. Gohan is one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball, and that era of Gohan is underrepresented. Also, I haven't built a Dragon Ball model kit in a while, and I really dig those constructions. So I pre-ordered that because Gohan rules, and Teen Gohan. Here's the thing, folks. The fans didn't like Teen Gohan. They didn't like the focus on Teen Gohan and turning Dragon Ball into and I can understand it. They just didn't like the idea of turning Dragon Ball into a, fish out of water in high school. There would have been big threats. It would have been fine, but the fans did not rally behind Great Saiyaman, and I was bummed about that because it was also funny and goofy in a way that Dragon Ball, kind of got a little away from. It always had its goofiness, but it got pretty serious, and so kind of mixing things up into a more of a comedy thing, I think was fantastic, and I know that people weren't super into it, which is always a shame. But yeah, it is Ultimate Gohan. I wish it was Great Saiyaman. It is not, but it is Ultimate Gohan, and I'm excited to build that because I like working on those kits, and I like building a Gohan. Let's see. Okay, so now Gohan is the Cell Saga spawn, the best AMV of all time. AMVs of all time. Indeed. Suddenly powered up Gohan was pretty great. Okay. I am now going to talk about 3 anime shows that I watched since last stream on Thursday. I'm going to talk about them right now. These are the 3 shows that I watched. All of them were final episodes of those shows, and I'll talk about them a little bit. Each one, I will tell you a little bit about what happened in those episodes as the finale. As I disassemble my helicopter and my flatbed in order to reassemble these pieces together into a new kit. The third in the 3-in-1. Okay, so Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. Hana Uzaki, the end of last episode, she shows up on Shinichi's door, and she's just like, I can't hang out with you anymore. And she's like, is she crying? It's raining. She's in the rain. Is she crying? What happened? And he's like, what's wrong? And she's like, I've done something that can't be undone. Well, it turns out that summer break is almost over, and she didn't finish a report. She didn't start a report that she has to do. So last week I was wondering, is this going to take a dramatic turn for the final episode, or is this a fake out? And indeed, it was a cliffhanger fake out. She wasn't in trouble. She just needed his help in order to finish this report. Waka waka waka. Uh, yeah. So that was the only thing I know about these shows is your recaps, and it's the best. Well, I appreciate that, Bobby. So this show, yeah, this show it was kind of fun. All right, then we cut to they're at work, and um, the boss hurts his back, so Shinichi has to drive him to the chiropractor, not the hospital, the chiropractor. So it's not terrible. Uh, and then Hana and Amy chat in the cafe. And we get another flashback to their time in high school where Hana was roped into being a manager. Because I was always wondering, I'm like, they said that she wasn't good at swimming, so why did she join the swim club? Well, she joined the swim club as a manager, but she wasn't planning on doing it. Uh, and But she realized that Shinichi is a scary but good guy, and that's how they met, which was kind of neat to see that. This is just like the last episode. This episode is a bunch of short little things. Like you could see it being like, short little chapters in a manga. But there are a lot of them just kind of strung together instead of one big overarching story, which I'm not opposed to. I think it ends up working out okay. Let's see. Hana asked Amy and the boss and Ishido. I don't know why he's over there at the cafe, but Hana wants to know what Shinichi is like when he's drunk, because she's never seen him get too drunk. But it turns out that he's just like very honest when he drinks. So they set up a plot. They're gonna get him drunk at his own place. Because that will allow them to figure out what's going on. I like for her to do that. And he gets really drunk, and he just says, thank you, and thank you for cooking all the time. And then he says, love your cooking. But he takes a long pause there because he's drunk, and she doesn't hear the second part, which is like, as far as the misunderstandings and miscommunications between the two of them, this one is like, oh, that's kind of cute. That's kind of fun. Sometimes they're like not my favorite part of the show because a lot of times they're not clever. They're just like ridiculous. Honestly, wasn't cool with the whole plan to get him drunk. Yes. So, Lashbrook, I appreciate the idea of she wants to like even the ledger with him because like he's seen her be embarrassed. So she wants to see him be embarrassed. I can kind of understand that, but it is the part of like getting him drunk, so that he makes a fool of himself. Is that's not great. I'm not a big fan of that, Ashbrook. I agree with you. Anyway, she ends up drinking because to process the fact that he just said that he loves her, even though he didn't quite say that. And I don't really remember what happened, but they do end up sharing a futon because he doesn't have a new guest futon yet. And they wake up and it's awkward. But she might have remembered him saying that. What she doesn't remember is that school starts the next day. Their summer break is over. And she completely apparently forgot that was happening, which is pretty funny. We see her getting ready for school because she still is at home. And we see her younger brother, who has been referenced throughout the show as like being an annoying younger brother and teasing her. But we actually see her, and that's fine. That's nothing about that or him. We see him. That's okay. Okay, and so then they run into each other at school. The episode's wrapping up. We're getting there. She starts slamming drinks when she's freaking out, and the friend shows up for the. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yes, so the friend shows up and puts them in bed next to one another, Ichito, which is that's a choice. That is certainly a choice. All right, so the episode ends with Shinichi says something like he doesn't realize he's saying it, but he does say thing to the effect of "we'll always be together," and he means that even if it's not the summer, they'll still be able to hang out, but it does come across like a love profession, which I think is pretty great. That he that he like inadvertently and then realizes, and then of course like you think, oh, is she gonna be embarrassed? Oh, is she gonna freak out? No, she just gets a smirk on her face and laughs at him and is like, oh, well, I guess I'll do you a favor by hanging out, because she's not tsundere. She's like, it's that I don't know if there is a dere or a ray for this. She's just smug about like their relationship. In I don't know. I think it's pretty cute. Uh, so I think overall, some of this stuff was very trite, and I did not enjoy it. I particularly did not enjoy I didn't mind the miscommunications, because it's still just it's a romantic comedy anime. There's going to be miscommunications. I think the miscommunications with the mom isn't fun, and I don't enjoy that part of it. Luckily, that was only twice in the show. Um, and also, I feel weird about the whole episode that was just a commercial for traveling to a place in Japan. That felt a little weird. Uh, but overall, it's a pretty great show. So, if you have Funimation, I don't know if it's on Hulu. I do know it's on Funimation. But if you have Funimation and you were looking for an anime, I would definitely recommend Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out if you're looking for a romantic comedy that involves college students, which is just nice. It's just nice that they're in college. Even if Hannah looks young, at least they are college age. Which is nice to have. Okay, so if you've been listening to my saga of the last season of Food Wars, you know that I have made predictions, all of which have come true, which is bad because I'm not. I mean, I've done a lot in my life, but I am not a person that writes stories. I'm not a story writer. I should not be making accurate predictions about what's happening in an anime. I should be surprised on occasion. I have not been when it comes to this. So, yeah, anime soothsayer, right? So my predictions going into this last episode were that Soma was going to make an egg dish, because getting Erina to like what he makes and call it delicious is his end goal. He'd be fine with winning this blue. Like, he doesn't want to win blue, but he's more interested in getting her to admit that she likes it. So eggs have been a thing that have happened quite often between the two of them. So that was my prediction. And then I also predicted that Erina was going to win, because it makes more sense for her in her story to win and to make something that her mom thinks is delicious, because her mom is the final judge, and to hopefully repair that that life, because being the personal because someone doesn't want to be someone's personal chef. He doesn't want to be tied down. He wants to do a bunch of cool shit and meet a bunch of cool chefs and learn stuff. He doesn't want to be the personal chef of somebody who, like, especially the girl that he's maybe not romantically interested in, because we don't really know, but at the very least socially interested in. He doesn't want to, like, work for her mom. So those are my big predictions coming true. And spoiler alert, I was right. I was right about everything. This is so lame. I'm so glad that I didn't predict, like, the one thing that didn't happen that I thought might happen at the end of the episode. I thought, because they were flashing forward, and I was like, uh-oh. I hope this doesn't happen. And it didn't, which is great. But anyway, he also didn't want to beat, like, Erina when she was feeling unsure of herself and had a lot of self-doubt. He wanted to beat her at her best. And so he brought it out of her. So basically, also, his dish was to wake her up, which is, like, I don't know, pretty rad. Let's see. So he makes a tempura dish with egg, and he makes a portion for Erina, and both her and the mom love it. Mana and Erina fucking love this dish. There's a whole new thing. I try to not get into I try not to describe the weird sexual stuff in the show, but there's a thing called the gifting, because there's a whole thing where sometimes you make food so good that people's clothes come off, and sometimes there are people out there that when the food is so good that their clothes come off, they make it so that other people can, even though they didn't eat it, their clothes come off too. And this is a new thing that happens. That is, yeah. it's some new ability that Erina uh, uh, like has where but like everybody's clothes come off and it's a new whole thing. It's a fucking thing. But yeah, they love it. They're great. Um, it's okay nonsense. Oh, I forgot what happens. Part of this, it's a new thing, is literally parts of this castle that they're in break apart. So literally the castle gets naked. And then people in the courtyard can see in. And I'm not describing it right. And it's just wonderful, weird nonsense. Um, let's see. And then, oh, also, she doesn't say it's delicious because she's never going to say it's delicious because ruins their, uh, that ruins the dynamic these two characters have. So she doesn't say it's delicious. She says it's disgusting compared to what I'm about to make. And then Erina wins. And we don't know what she made, which is annoying. They don't talk about the dish. She just wins. We don't know what she made. Which is kind of annoying. But Soma is smirking because he won the battle he cares about. And also he knows she liked it. Even if she's not going to say it. Let's see. Okay. There's a big party. After party at the Polar Star dormitory. And Soma is pissed because he didn't win. And he doesn't want to take over his father's diner. And there's a fun moment where his dad is like, well, I was going to let you, but okay. Well, you wait on it. And then we find out what happened with Ryo and Akira. A couple episodes ago, the two of them were like, all right, time to go do a thing. And I guess what happened was a bunch of the Elite 10 were out there helping taking down the rest of Noir, the evil group. So they were out there like saving the day. And it would have been cool to see that as it happened instead of finding out after the fact them just going, and then we did that thing. Cool. So that's weird. Let's see. Oh, the closing theme starts, and we get a note that Soma is leaving. He's going to go train over... It literally, the note says... The translation of the note, anyway, says, I'm going to train overseas or something, Soma, and then he, like, drew a little caricature of himself. Like, that's his goodbye note. And, of course, people are pissed about that. Over the closing song... we see that Erina's mom has returned home, and her dad shows up, and he's like, hey, so before I met your mom, I made a terrible mistake. And then Erina's like, okay, well, let's just get him. So her half-brother, who basically proposed to her, when did not know that they were siblings, and was the bad guy of the show, that clearly looked like her dad. So they're brought together, and they're all eating together, and then Alice is there with her parents, and then the Noir folks that pledged to follow Asahi are also there, and I guess they got jobs now, so that's nice. And then the song ends, and it's 6 months later, and I was like, oh god, please don't tell me that Soma and Erina got married, because, like, I don't need that. I don't need that. Please don't. That doesn't happen. Soma returns to the diner, and Erina is there because I guess he said, like, hey, I'm coming back. Let me make you something. And she doesn't say it out loud, but she acknowledges to herself that, like, she assumed that they would have all this time to work together and cook against each other. And she, like, she acknowledges to herself that she missed him, which is a lot because Erina is a tsundere character. And it is kind of interesting for her to be honest even with herself. Now, she doesn't say any of that, but she knows, oh, I genuinely like this dude, and I like cooking with this dude, and I was mad that he, like, took off. And then the dorm mates and some of the Elite 10 show up, and he makes a dish for them, and that's the end of the show. And it ends with like a full piece of art of all of the main characters and lots of the minor characters, even a few that we didn't see in this episode, the last episode, all together in the cafe. And Asahi's working with in the back, working with Soma's dad and Soma, and Megumi. Megumi is like handling that, like serving people, which like it would definitely be wasted if she worked at the diner, but that's what a lot of fans want to see because they think it would be cool if the two of them work together. And also, when all of the dorm mates show up at the diner, almost none of them have ever been there, and that's just kind of fun that they're all like checking it out. That's like one of those things like, oh yeah, they've never been to the diner. Overall, was this season worth it? Should it have happened? No. Food Wars should have ended at the fourth plate because the fourth plate has a satisfactory conclusion and it builds and it's great. And do they tie up a lot of loose ends in this season? I mean, sure. Sure they do. But, like, it wasn't worth a kind of shitty season that we got. I understand why this wasn't 24 or 26 episodes, why they did in 13 and rushed through it. And I know that the manga was not well these chapters of the manga were not well received. But at this point, you got to make it anyway. So overall, if you haven't started watching the fifth plate, I think you can avoid it. I think you can skip it. I think it's an okay season. But, yeah, kind of a lackluster end to Food Wars. And let's see. Okay. What was not a lackluster closing to a show, nice transition there, I'm going to tell you about the last episode of The Misfit of Demon King Academy, episode 13. So, the big reveal at the end of episode 12 was, all this time, Lei was we kind of guessed. The show was trying to hint to us that Lei, the demon, pure-blood demon, was a reincarnation of Shin Regalia, who was a sword user and was the right-hand man of Anos, and said that, hey, can I be reincarnated? I'll wait until you come back. So we thought they're trying to tell us that was shit. Turns out no, Lei is canon and had his memories this whole time. He waited to be reincarnated until Anos was there. Also, he was Avos this whole time, the fake demon lord. And we don't know why he was the fake demon lord, but he was. That's what we found out at the end of the last episode, and was like, oh, fuck. That's kind of surprising and cool. I kind of knew he was canon, but, like, I didn't know that he was, also Avos. Well, he's not really Avos, because there really isn't an Avos. Apparently, alright, so we're going to start our third build now. We're getting into it. Let's start building this pickup and a caravan. So we'll finish this up. So, Lei, apparently, as canon, Lei nullified Anos' destiny as the Demon King, and that's what prevented the legends from happening. So that's why he was forgotten all this time. And there were new mythologies, and Avos became the new Demon Lord. So, Lei's intention is, as Avos, to die by the hands of humans, which he hopes will end this conflict. And that's also one, he's willing to die the same way that Anos was willing to die the first time. But also, that doesn't work because some of the humans are looking for peace, but Jerga, the guy that ended up having him canon killed, like, he doesn't ever want peace. This isn't peace to him. Peace is the death of all demons. Because he can't get rid of his hatred. It's not going to work. So right now they're going to fight each other because this is what Lei wants, and it's not what Anos wants. So then the theme song starts, and it is Anos' voice actor singing it. It happened earlier in the season that we had that voice actor sing the theme. I really like that because he's doing it in character, and I just think it's neat. I don't know. I just like that. I like that that the voice actor is singing the song. I like when that happens. It's a good bit of business. Anyway, let's see. So Anos like decides to let Lei kill him, but he disguises himself as Avos. So Anos is like, no, you're the reincarnation. You'll kill me. I'm fine with it. And he kills his source and all. Diego obviously does not stand down because he's like, yeah, well, you might be canon, but you're in a demon form. No, demons all have to die. So he becomes the spell version of Jirga. A cool thing that happens is Sasha and Misha, the twins, the Necron twins, they combined into one person, who they originally were supposed to be one. They were originally one person. They combined into one person, which is pretty neat. And but they still have two voices, which is a weird thing. But they become one person, and then some of the heroes try to explode, and people are trying to prevent that. And then everything looks like it's going to explode, but then it doesn't, because Anos is back. Weird. His source was destroyed. He should be dead. But he used a spell that became his new source. But that only works if the spell that killed him he's been attacked with before, which he was, so that was all part of his plan. The sword that killed him when he gave up his life in order to 2,000 years ago is the spell that killed him this time, so he was able to revive him, which is pretty neat, and also definitely a Deus Ex Machina, but sure, let's go for it. Let's see. Jirga forcibly absorbs human hope to power up a spell. Lei joins the fight, and then this is now the second time that we've seen Anos use this, but he uses the human spell to have the fan union, his fan club, sing one of their songs as a way to basically power him up. And this song, so the first time they did it, it was like a fight song they were singing. It wasn't to power anything up. They just like wrote a fight song about how he rules. The second one they sang, which happened a couple episodes ago, was like a sassy like idol number. But it was just like, you think you're like so cool, but you know the Demon King doesn't even acknowledge your presence. And this last one was like it was just a fucking love ballad. It was a love song about how much they love Anos, and it was like a pretty okay tune. But yeah, that powers them up. Sasha Misha, the Necron person, set up the castle to protect wounded demons. There's a point where the guy that was leading the demon army is like, I'm not foolish enough to not recognize that's our Demon King. I don't care if the stories were clearly wrong. That's the Demon Lord, which is kind of a big step. Let's see. The Jirga spell is destroyed. Sasha and Misha separate. Oh, that's cool. They can do and embrace. And then we get the end song starting. So now we're gonna have some footage over the closing theme. You know, like a lot of anime does, where they're like, we have more stuff to do and then we have time. Let's just have a bunch of stuff happen while the music plays. So that starts, and it is let's see. Oh, so Sasha and Misha separate. Yes, Anos and Misha embrace. Not Anos. Sorry, Misa and Lei embrace because they are really into one another. So this is a show with a main character and a bunch of girls around, where one of the girls likes another dude. That is pretty rare for anime of this type. Let's see. Anos keeps his promise, and he changes Eleanor's source. because she was a spell. Now she is a demon spell instead of a human spell, and she's now one of his spells. So that breaks the cycle and frees her and all of the Zessias. And then Anos and the Necron twins return to Anos' house to meet the parents after the big battle. But also, Eleonora is there. I don't know why Eleonora is there, but she's like, well, I don't know. And then, of course, Anos' parents think that she's another bride. And then they all go in for Mushroom Gratin, because that's his favorite thing. And that's the end of the thing. There are a couple loose ends that I'm sure the light novels continue, or light novels / manga, continue to deal with that we didn't get, which is what happened to Shin Regalia, who founded the fan union and who's supporting the Unitarians, and one of the big questions is they made a point to talk about how Misa's father is a pure-blooded demon, and we don't meet him. We don't see him at all, but he did leave her half of a sword. And we saw all of his, this demon lords or whatever. We did not see Shin Regalia, the guy that his right-hand man. And I assumed that we didn't see him because they wanted us to think that that is who Lei was. But then we didn't see, we knew who Lei is, so I guess that would just be in another season of the show that we didn't get here. Overall, this show is way better than it has any right to be. It is a sometimes horny, but not that horny show. It is about an overpowered main character that just destroys people. You would think, if you watch the show and you only watch the first 2 episodes, you would think that there's some demons, and pure-blooded demons in there. You would think they are the most important, like they would be the antagonist. You never fucking see them again. They're not even in this battle, as far as I could see. So they put a lot of effort into minor characters that do not matter. I would say it's pretty fucking good. It is surprisingly a good show. So, if you are looking for an action series, if you liked The Irregular at Magic School, but wish the 2 main characters weren't so into each other since they are related, then I think that the Misfit of Demon King Academy is a great choice for a show to watch, to pick up. It moves pretty well. There's one episode that kind of drags in the middle. It does drag a little bit. There's a fight between Lei and Anos that like takes forever to fucking set up, but pays off really well. And that's about it, folks. Those 3 shows are over. Let's see. How many days? Well, let me check the old Ani chart to see when the next stuff is coming up. Ani chart will tell me when I have. Okay, so the new season, the first episode of the new season that I want to watch is in 5 days and 9 hours, and then one in 10 hours. Because the first show I want to see is Majo no Tabi Tabi, which is like an episodic story about a witch traveling around the world, and each episode like is its own little self-contained episode. That looks cool, and I will try 1 million men or whatever, 1 million lives or whatever. I forget what the actual English translation of it is. It's a isekai that looks like it's going to be kind of sad. It's an isekai where the premise is a game master brings a person into a fantasy world and says, you have a certain amount of time. Here are some skills. You have a certain amount of time to complete this quest. If you complete it, you will go back to your reality for a while. And then you will come back with someone from your school. And it will build how many people are coming back with you as you complete things until you've completed 10 tasks. And death is permanent, and that's the isekai. Uh, and I'm at least going to try that show. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, but I'm going to try it. But yeah, there are a few that. So basically, usually there's like a week between shows. There's still a new episodes of Ninja Collection's not done yet, and Monday is the last episode of God of High School. So this season just started late and kept going. But a bunch of stuff starts popping off. Yeah, 4 days or 4 days. There's some stuff like I'm not gonna watch a couple of these shows that are coming out in a couple days. Although I have heard some people apparently have said good things about Assault Lily. It's an anime based on a doll like collection. But apparently a few people say that they've seen a preview of it and liked it, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna watch that. It didn't seem to strike any interest in me. But yeah, we got that. We got that 100-man thing or million feet or beneath me or whatever. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 3 is coming. Tonikawa Over the Moon for You is coming. Haikyuu is coming. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff that Yashahime. Oh, Yashahime. I can't fucking wait for Yashahime. I'm very psyched for that shit. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Like a couple days and hours means 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have a lot of stuff like airing on Wednesday afternoons for me to watch. I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, I am excited about having some new anime and not having that much time. Like I think I will probably, I don't know. If I have time, I'm gonna watch Gibate because I never finished it because I was not interested in it because I got just kind of sick of that show. But I might go back to that. I don't know. But yeah, there's just a bunch of goddamn good anime coming out, and I'm very excited for it. Cool to see. Bunch of cool shows. Well, I'm gonna keep working on this, and yeah. Let's see. I don't know. For me, the next couple days, I don't really have anything planned. I might. It seems like there's not much new mech anime coming out. What is that? I want new mechs. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was pretty psyched about Listeners because it was a mecha show. And it looked kind of neat. That was last season. And it wasn't good. I fell asleep while watching it. I just got really bored with that show. I was really bummed because that's the last like mecha show we've had in a while. Yeah, and that was just not good. And I wanted it to be rad. Yeah, mecha is just not happening. Yeah, it's just not on the cards. Let's see. Honestly, the last really good mech show. Well, yes, you need. So there was Knights and Magic. I don't know why it's called that. It's called Knight apostrophe S and Magic, not Knights plural. It's a KNI GHT apostrophe S. Knights and Magic is a mecha fantasy isekai. And then there was an isekai, or not an isekai. There was an anime about magical girls that piloted mechs. But they were like magic mechs, not like built with science mechs. And that show was real fucking weird and I forget the name of it, and I apologize for forgetting the name of it. But that show was okay, but not great. Uh, Kind of like Kamen Rider, and that's sort of close to mech. Yeah, I mean that's a thing. It's just not. It's not the same. That is just it's more of a Sentai kind of show. Uh, yeah, they're just mech isn't. I mean the last kind of show that had mech stuff and that there is going to be a sequel at some point to SSS Gridman. There will be a sequel to that, and that is, I mean, that's a take on the Ultraman kind of shows, but also has some cool mech stuff in it. So maybe that will come out at some point. I think they were going to make more of that. I'm going to look that up. More SSS is Gridman. Let's see. Yes. SSSS Dyna Xenon is it's going to be shared in the Gridman universe. That was announced on the end of 2019, so no idea if that's going to go there. It is, yes. It's a reference to Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad. I don't know if you remember the U.S. television show that came out when Power Rangers took off that was called Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. It featured one Joey Lawrence's younger brother. That was a U.S. adaptation of Gridman, which I didn't know until Gridman came out, which I thought was pretty neat. But yeah, mecha stuff it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing that people are super into these days. I mean, if you want a Gundam show, there's Build. Build continues to be a thing that people really like. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I know people really love it. I like some of the odd incarnations of old kits that come out, and I get to build those. I do like that. I just don't really like the show. But yeah, we're not getting a lot of robots or cyborgs these days. There's witches. There's the witches slice of life that might be sad too. And then there's also like a 3-part movie about witches as well. For some reason, that's kicking off hard. And there's definitely two or three. There's at least 2 anime this season that are we go to a special school to be able to fight monsters that have weird names. And we have weird names because we go to this school and fight monsters there. There's at least 2 to 3 of those. Because that's always going to be a popular genre. We had one of those last season. Although that one was the horny one. So who knows if any of those will be good or interesting or anything. Got a bunch of isekais. I mean, I'm looking forward to the isekai that starts off as it is both a virtual MMO thing where you get trapped, but also you get teleported into it. So it's not just that you're trapped there, you're also... So it is both like a Sword Art Online take on isekai and a traditional isekai, like a Demon Lord retry isekai or an Overlord isekai called Kuma 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 Baer. Of course I'm going to watch that because that's adorable. Yeah, I mean, like, I can appreciate old Gundam. Like, I've gone back to watch some of the classics. I've slowly tried to watch a few of the things that I never end up actually finishing, some old series. But, some of it I think has aged really well, and some of it hasn't as much. But, I think, like, I tried watching Double Zeta, and people warned me, but I was just like, I don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. All right, so we are going to wrap up tonight for the evening. Our next stream, which will be on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will finish up this Lego set and I'll start a new kit. There will be a poll tomorrow for my $10 patrons to decide what I build next, knowing that whatever is after the death site will be the next thing after that, because I've got 2 things on my backlog, but stuff coming to me in the mail isn't going to get here until Tuesday, so I got to start a new kit. All right, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to find someone for us to raid, because I really like doing that at the end of a stream. It's just find someone for us to go check out and see what they're doing. I don't know how long. Let's see what people are up to. I don't know how long that's going to go. All right, we are going to go and it's Kate Stark's 30th birthday. So we're going to go raid Kate because she turned 30. And as someone who also had a big milestone birthday during quarantine. Lord Cratchit wants me to hit that gong. I'm going to hit that. Thank you for hitting that, Lord Cratchit. We'll end with a gong. But yeah, Kate rules. Thank you for being here. Thanks for everybody that decided to hang out. But yeah, Kate rules, and it's her 30th, so let's go raid. Bald Ridge also wants me to hit that gong, so let's do that while I get that ready. Again, you don't have to come on the raid, but I would love it if you did. Raid Kate. Oops. I got to check my spelling. But yeah, I got to hit this gong here for Bald Ridge, and I'll do that. Oh, I got 2 more to do. Okay, I got to do the gong twice. But we'll get this there. So here's one. And then here's another. Do that one just for funds. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Feel free to come along the raid. Again, you don't have to, but would love it if you could. We're going to go raid Kate. She's been streaming all day because it's her birthday, and I did a birthday stream, and that was fun, too. So thank you so much. Please come back on Monday as I finish up this Lego set and then start another kit. And I'll see you on the next build with Baer. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.